Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing K-1 fiance visas. These are visas for fiancés of American citizens. We handle a number of these cases here in our office here in Bangkok, but this is kind of a more generalized video. What we're talking about here is there was a court case filed some time ago. Basically, it was a court case against the U.S. government trying to get the courts to go ahead and compel, the government to go ahead and start processing K-1 visas, to move things along, essentially. And this is kind of one of those videos that's a good news, bad news video. I'll get into it here in a minute, but quoting directly, this is from Law 360, that's law360.com. Article is titled, D.C. Judge Tosses Suit Over Slow Processing of Fiance Visas. Quoting directly, a D.C. federal judge on Thursday threw out a lawsuit challenging the U.S. Department of State over the slow processing of K-1 fiance visas during the coronavirus pandemic, agreeing with the government that the case is now moot because the agency had recently issued a, quote, national interest, unquote, exemption to aid the applicants. And I'll get into that in a minute. Quoting further, government lawyers told U.S. District Judge James E. Boasberg in May that the suit filed by more than 150 U.S. citizens and the foreign partners they intend to marry warrants dismissal because Secretary of State Anthony J. Blinken had exempted all K-1 visa applicants from a Trump administration executive order restricting non-citizens' entry into the U.S. during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I say this is kind of good news, bad news, because the people that filed it, and really hats off to those folks, they did every other K-1 applicant a service, essentially, by filing. But they really didn't get anything out of this. It was deemed moot, and now they're just processing along as if sort of nothing happened. However, the upshot was, in my opinion, it compelled the government, rather than go through the process of being adjudicated to be in the wrong, the government just, as noted here, Secretary of State Anthony J. Blinken had exempted all K-1 visa applicants from a Trump administration executive order restricting non-citizens' entry into the U.S. during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, long story short, what Trump did has now been sort of reversed. K-1 cases are not sort of considered, how do you want to put it? They're considered in the national interest, if you will, and they're now exempt from that order, and they're going to go ahead and move things along. So while the people actually in that case didn't really get a lot of satisfaction, I would say, they did help K-1 applicants overall by filing and pushing this out there. So like I said, I think they kind of deserve a little tip of the hat. Anybody that's currently filing and processing a K-1, you should be grateful to these folks that went ahead and filed this case. And although it didn't end up with a great deal of satisfaction for them directly on an individual level, it has been a benefit to basically everybody that just wants due process to be, to be considered and to be applied when processing a case for a K-1 visa for a fiance of an American citizen to go to the United States.